Welcome back, everyone. NicknLex here. Thank you so much for joining me today to this new episode of Music with Nick. Today we got a marathon put together by Lee, very carefully crafted with a lot of attention and love. Thank you so much, Lee, for putting this together. And we're gonna go we're gonna go see SPACEHOG and Goose. If you clicked on this video because you're a fan, thank you so much. They're gonna be in Denver in the near future, so we're gonna go see them. And I think I'm not sure, but I think Alexa's gonna be out of town, so we're gonna go just Lee and I, and it's gonna be awesome. And also that way, you know, when we go to a concert, Lee and I, it's almost like nobody else is around us. Like we do like our own thing. We only talk about music. We geek out a lot, and everybody who's with us is kind of like, "Oh my God, do you see these two? They don't shut up. They don't even know where they're walking. They're walking randomly, you know." So that's just how we roll. So again, Lee, thank you so much for sponsoring the video. I appreciate it. And here we go. I've never heard of these two bands. I mean, I've heard of them, of course, from Lee. But I've never listened to their music. So SPACEHOG, we're going to do in the meantime, only a few from the album Resident Alien from 1995. Then the Chinese album is from 1998. Lucy's Shoe is the next song we're going to do from SPACEHOG. And then we're going to switch to the band Goose, Thatch, and Everything Must Go from the album Everything Must Go. It says 2025. Okay, cool. So Lee and I and Alexia, Lee and I, we have seen some amazing bands together. Kansas, we saw Creed. Oh my God. I mean, I already lost count. I mean, we've seen John Anderson together. I mean, we've been like Peter Gabriel, Steely Dan tribute band. I mean, I think maybe like 25, 30 concerts. I could be a little off, maybe, but I'm sure. I think we get to that number if we put everything together. And also there's sometimes more acts, you know, so yeah, it's always a lot of fun. So again, thank you so much for clicking on the video. If you know any of these bands or you're a fan, give it a like, leave something in the comment section, please. Thank you, of course, to Lee if you enjoy this marathon. And yeah, let's get going. If you want to subscribe, of course, don't hesitate, right? All right, here we go. In the meantime, I'm super excited. Thank you. Let's go. I have no idea what this is, what style.
all the days have still to come.
great. I did not expect this. I didn't know what to expect. I mean, Space Hog doesn't give. I mean, what band gives their style away in the name? I mean, Metallica, maybe. You know, I don't know. But this was amazing. I love the voice. I love the bass, the guitar playing, just everything. The drumming, just beautiful, just very, very good. It sounded, so the singer reminded me a little bit of, it seemed a little alternative, but it reminded me of a bit more upbeat version of Alice in Chains. Like, I don't know, something about the vocalist. You know, it's the 90s. Alternative music is obviously at its peak, but it didn't sound like the typical Seattle, you know, alternative rock. It sounded like, I don't know, just different. So I pulled up Wikipedia here. It says SPACEHOG, just to give you guys a little bit of insight. SPACEHOG is an alternate rock band formed in 1994 in New York City by 4 British men who are living in the city. Okay, that's cool. Their music is heavily influenced by David Bowie. All right. I guess that's why I like it. I love David Bowie. David Bowie, Queen, and T-Rex. So the band's best known single is In the Meantime, what we just heard. Okay, perfect. If they play this, it's already worth going, but I'm sure there's going to be stuff that's, you know, deeper cuts, but it's nice, you know, to open up with one of their well-known tracks. Let's see. So okay, so the Chinese album, I don't want to spoil it. I'm very, very pleased with this. Thank you so much for the introduction, Lee. Definitely. Like I say, definitely something I would listen to in my spare time. Definitely something I would go see live. So you already have me convinced. Let's just wrap it up. End of the marathon. Goodbye. No, I'm just kidding. No, only a few is next. So yeah, let's check it out. I really like their style. I love there's a little bit of soloing going on, not too much, not too flashy. I love the bass, honestly, very in the forefront, really cool, you know, licks. And yeah, it is really important, you know, the singer, if the singer has a voice that you like, it's just like, it makes it so much easier to listen to. But then obviously there's other singers who are, you know, it's an acquired taste. And I talked about this in a different marathon, that sometimes when you, even when you would still purchase music, then that you would really like, you wanted to fall in love, you know? And it's something I really want to talk about with people. Like, what is an example for you? What is an album where that happened to you, that you bought it and then you were like, well, I honestly bought it only because of one song, but the rest is, I don't really, I mean, that happened to me when I was younger. I would buy maybe a CD because of one song. I knew this one song was on there. And then the rest was kind of like, well, you know, and then, but because of just listening to it, these songs would grow on you. And then suddenly you love the entire album, even the bad stuff, you know? I mean, I think Lee and I agree with one album that even though I listened to it maybe 50 times because I wanted to love it, was In Through the Outdoor. And I'm sure like Lee's gonna like giggle right now watching this, because it's just not good enough. There's maybe 2 songs on this album that are really good, but the rest is just like, you know, that's just an album that I really wanted to love because I love Led Zeppelin, and the more I heard it, it just got worse, you know. So it doesn't always work, you know. So okay, only a few is next. Let's check it out.
out. Oh, there's only a few like you. There's only one eye to compromise. There's only a few who do. And big boys don't cry.
Very nice drumming.
So take me along, away from this loneliness, facing the shadows, hiding our lies. Truth should be known, without which I'm all alone, lost between this world, hiding our lies. Oh, there's only a few like you. There's only one eye to compromise. There's only a few who do. And big boys don't cry. Oh, and she loves me. When would I get there? I will find you. And when I get there, I will find you. And when I get there, I will find you. And when I get there, I will find.
So good. And I know now why the bass is so prominent and in the forefront, because the singer is also the bass player. He is like the front man, you know, so that his bass lines are very, you know, lead. I don't know. It's like with almost like if you have a bass player as a singer, it's almost going to be maybe, well, it depends. But like, for example, Rush is a good example. Now there's a Iron Maiden. He doesn't sing, but he sings almost all the backing vocals, Steve Harris, but he's just like the main composer. He writes almost everything. And the bass is almost always there in the forefront. Very, very instantly recognizable, like Iron Maiden. It's like, wow, the bass is like, you know, just like there. Really, really cool. So I'm reading about these guys, and so they are considered alternative rock, glam rock. Glam rock is, I mean, for me, glam rock is, I guess, I don't want to mess up, but I'm just gonna not say anything because I'm just gonna mess it up. Power pop is a genre that I don't know, but this is really good. This is really good music. It's just it has, you know, a bit of funkiness, like it's jazzy. The drumming here was very jazzy, you know. The bass, the singing is just very, very good, you know. So they are a little bit of like, now we're gonna change the album to the Chinese album, and it says there's a little bit of Pink Floyd-esque like piano, and I know what they mean, of course. I'm super excited because I've just been messing around with my new guitar, as you can see, Lee, right here. This is a synth guitar, a Brian Moore. You don't really see those like very often. I kind of got aware about them through Brett Garsett, one of my favorite guitar players, jazz fusion player, and I think it's a very fusion-esque guitar. And I didn't even know it had synth capabilities until like just reading about it more. And I just like the design, and it's very light and it has a very thin neck, and it's just very, I don't know. And then I kind of got into this whole synth. As you can see, there's like 100,000 knobs on there. That's because it has a synth pickup already included. So, but the person that sold it to me, Lawrence, shout out if you're watching this, he also sold me a pickup, a synth pickup to put on any of these guitars, maybe on the acoustic, on that, Charvel. So, but it's really, really cool to play. And I was messing around playing chords, and it sounded like Pink Floyd because there's a kind of like Hammond, kind of like organ on there effect. I was playing flute, violin. There's all kinds of stuff you can do with this pedal. It's insane. But you can also just play guitar, you just lead guitar, rhythm guitar, solos. But I was just like playing a lot of stuff that I usually wouldn't play because it's just different instruments in your mind. Like there's a trumpet, there's a sax. The sax sounds a little bit off. Now you can also hook this up to newer software. Now the pedal, obviously, I think is from the mid 2000s or so. You can hook it up to Logic Pro and you get the new MIDI sound. Those are not to be messed with. You can really compose an entire orchestra, and it doesn't sound fake. So that's what I can't wait to do that, to hook it up to the computer and mess with Logic with those patches, and those really sound like cellos and stuff like that. But I haven't had time to do that. But yeah, I'm very happy. Come over, Lee. Let's check it out. It's going to be awesome because I also want to listen to your MIDI guitar MIDI pedal that you talked about. Okay, Lucy's Shoe is next from the SPACEHOG album 3 years later, the Chinese album. Here we go. So far, I'm loving this band. Can't wait to see them live. You got to give it to Lee. He has good taste, So I was never worried. To go to a concert and it was gonna suck or something like that. So let's go.
Lucy lost her shoe and she don't know where she put it, but I hope she'll find it someday. 'Cause hands that do dishes may be kind to your face, but the stains they'll never wash away. Day in and after, up by her window, wait for all the clouds to blow away. But she won't recall that cold night in November when her daddy made her play.
Very Bowie.
Oh, Lucy, what went wrong? You never had it right. I'll think of you before too long, but I know you ain't coming back. Lucy lost her shoe and she don't know where she put it. What a terrible shame.
That better the voice.
She only knew how to turn back round and get it. She wouldn't all the same. Sometimes sits and wonders, and sometimes she'll just sit, making sure that everyone's okay. She'll up and think of life before November when her daddy made her play. Oh, Lucy, what went wrong? You never had it right.
Very Beatlesque.
I'll think of you before too long, but I know you ain't coming back.
Wow, that was a track.
Don't be a
Wow, this was awesome. I mean, the piano throughout, the orchestration, very, like I said, I think I said it twice. It sounded a lot like sometimes the way he would kind of like break off the voice there, very Bowie. Yes. Obviously, there's the influence, very the Beatles, very like Eleanor Rigby-ish, I guess. I mean, Eleanor Rigby is just, I think, the cello. But just like, you know, the orchestration, even the Beatles were using back in the 60s. Really, really cool. I think any band or everybody that plays kind of some sort of rock, obviously, who has heard the Beatles is influenced by them. So I don't think it's any different with SPACEHOG. I just love when people kind of really let you know. You know, like ELO, they really let you know, yes, I really love the Beatles' work and I'm honoring them by playing something very, you know, very similar, but still different. This was very good. And when I hear something like this, I always add like the word, like it's a little bit theatrical, a little bit like of cabaret, you know, like that theatricality, like just... I don't know. There's a certain sound that of certain music that you hear, and then it's like, yeah, you know, like what's it? One Night in Paris. You know, it's just like there's something about that kind of composition that it just screams, you know, theater. You know, and that's what I got out of this one. A very short song, but so good. Honestly, very, very impressive. SPACEHOG. I mean, when I heard SPACEHOG, I was like, heck, you know, heck. I started to use the word heck because we were watching Fargo, and apparently nobody, you know, in Minnesota curses, so they just say like heck. Shout out to all the people from Minnesota. But actually, we just found out that Fargo is not even in Minnesota. It's in South Dakota. So we had no idea. But yeah, we highly recommend the show. Of course, if you've seen the movie, we love the Coen brothers. But the show is also co-produced. So it kind of ties in to the movie, to the first movie, the first season. It has like a tie-in, really clever. But yeah. So why am I talking about Fargo right now? Okay, we're gonna switch to the band Goose. So the first song is Thatch, from the Everything Let's Go album. Both of the songs, let's see, do they bleed into each other? Let's see. No. So we got the album opener. Oh, wait a minute. We got Thatch and then the album opener. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. And I don't know what the explicit. Just, you know, I usually never like call that out, but hey, just for your knowledge, let's go with Thatch.
my key. Gonna cast some spell, then economy see. Gonna turn it up some, gonna turn it up some. Gonna take the bed, sitting on my tongue. Gonna find a new hill, gonna pick up my feet. Gonna turn my step to the light through the trees. Mind overly under that sea. I'm dead funnily. Gonna turn my pick up from a tall tree, pull it from a deep well. What the bird don't sing, the bird don't tell. Is it all a vision? Is it all a vision? Can I raise it up? Can I have some fun? Can I take it up slow? Run it up like hell? Can I find out what's at the bottom of the well? Mind overly under that sea. I'm dead funnily. Gonna turn my You've been making it fit like a permanent stitch. Is it on your lip? Is it been weighing on it? Is it a little bit fucked? Did the rum come loose? Did you change your mind? Lord, did it change you? You better turn it up, son. You better turn it up, son. You better take that hill, grab the flag and run. Mind overly under that sea. I'm dead funnily. Gonna turn my mind overly under that sea. I'm dead funnily. Gonna turn my
Yes. Oh my God. Oh my god, what a band. I can't wait. Alex is gonna be pretty pissed that she's not going. But I think she's going to see her sister and her mom and stuff. Man, this is the music that I listen to. Honestly, that's the music that I listen to. But I just didn't know this band. This is this is the shit, man. This is what I like. And super. So they have played at Red Rocks, which is always a trip, to go. And I don't know if we're gonna see them at Red Rocks. I think maybe, but if it doesn't really matter. I mean, I love all venues here, but something really cool. So Goose is an American rock band from Wilton, Connecticut, formed in 2014. So the cool thing is we even talked about this with our we did 2 interviews that we're going to release very soon. And it always came up, there's so much new good music out there. I mean, listen to this. Isn't that amazing? And these guys have played with bands that I'm just getting into. Bob Weir. Yesterday, I had literally my introduction to Bob Weir, from the Grateful Dead. And they play with the Dead Company, which is, helmed, I think, by Bob Weir, or was, or whatever. I still don't know. I'm a little bit confused. Trey Anastasio. But I mean, it's like this jam, like a thing that the Grateful Dead used to do. These jam bands. Now this is labeled as progressive rock. I think it's there's just this right amount of funk and jazz in there. The solo, I loved how he was like playing outside there and then came back in. They're talking about like playing with the band Phish, which is also very, I think it has to do with Trey Anastasio. I think he's the guitar player or singer and guitar player of Phish. So this is just like, this is what I like. This is the stuff that that's the stuff that I want to see. We saw Snarky Puppy. Oh my god, we've seen him twice. The first time with Steely Dan, with the real Steely Dan, with Donald Fagen Steely Dan. We flew to Oregon to see Steely Dan, and it was obviously Donald Fagen with all these master musicians, and after that we saw Snarky Puppy, and it was kind of weird because it was in an arena, and the arena was, I think, a bit too big for for that kind of music. I think it would have been better to hear it in a smaller venue. I think that's because when we saw them in a smaller venue, Snarky Puppy, wow. On my birthday, that was amazing. Like, I can't believe how good they are. But this reminds me, maybe a little less jazzy because like Snarky Puppy's all instrumental music, no lyrics, and a lot of improvisation, crazy stuff. But this is amazing, really, really good. Thank you, Lee, for the introduction. You know me so well. Obviously I was gonna like this, I mean, what's not to like, this is like ridiculous. Okay, so I'm super excited for the next track. I didn't want this one. I was like, oh, it's only 6 minutes and 40 seconds. Honestly, I was like, I don't want this to end. This is so good. But here we go with the title track, Everything Must Go. I don't know if this is inspired by Steely Dan's album Everything Must Go. Maybe not. But maybe yes, let's check it out. But here you go, Goose, a band from the 20s, from the 2010s. What's not to like? If you like the Grateful Dead, why wouldn't you like this band? You see? So it is kind of like, but I'm even guilty of spreading like of the there's no more good music. There is. You just have to kind of like look for it, because what they play on the radio, yikes, yikes. So I think that's the problem between the 70s, the 60s, 70s, and 80s and 90s. They would actually play good stuff on the radio, and now the good stuff is kind of like you have to look for it, and the radio is all garbage. That I think everybody agrees, with that. Okay, let's go with Goose. More Goose. Very interesting.
Fateful attraction to the hard and heavy glow.
Okay, very different.
A hint of satisfaction in the sound of the rolling ball. The future when you need it. You can teach these lights to dance. A finger on the trigger. You've got magic in your hands. This is love, sweet signal from above. Warms my brain. Now I'll never be alone again. Oh, can you believe it? Front seat to the show. Hotline to the afterlife. And a discount miracle. Say you wanna live forever. Play a little game with me. Walk all in, take your spin. Let it out, let it in. It's a legend.
Very
This
cool
is
sequence.
love, sweet signal from above. Warms my brain. Now I'll never be alone again. All that you can imagine
Holy moly. So good. So different from the first one. Yikes. Okay. Oh my lord. I don't know which one I like better, this one or the first one. Both were so different, but so good. I love I loved about this one here, the sequencing of the drums. I think that was programmed, and at the end he does, you know, kind of like play. This was beautiful because of his voice. It's a very beautiful voice. Just the whole song is such a different style. Holy moly, I can't wait to see these live, both bands. That's how you do it. That's how you do it, Lee. That's how you convince someone the best way possible. Because when I heard, I mean, when you talked about it before, I'm always interested, you know, especially because it's you. Because I mean, everything you've shown me is obvious, like gold, right? But just like I couldn't make out SPACEHOG, I was like, you know, and then Goose, I'm like, okay, what is with the animal? Like, I mean, a hog, isn't that? And then what's with the like goose? So I was like, I had just like no idea, you know, and not then you play this to me, and like I'm like so ready to go, yes, and it's so funny because obviously it's always like the song that you know you want to hear that live, but I'm not so. I mean, even I never look at set lists, you know. Lee is the one that looks at set lists, and then sometimes as a favor to me, he's like, okay, I didn't look at the set list, god damn it, you know. So because I just want to be surprised and I just embrace whatever they play, and it's kind of like cool to just sit there and like, oh my god, you know, when it comes up, when it's a band that you've heard like hundreds of times and then you see them live and they play the songs, I just don't want to spoil that, you know. But that's me, hey, you know. Alexia's the same. But we're like that with movies and trailers. We want to watch trailers. That's why when we wanted to do trailer reactions, we're like, nah, this is not gonna work. You know? I mean, we could literally react to old trailers to movies that we've already seen, but you know, I think the reaction would be, why is this trailer so bad? You know, why does it spoil everything? You know, that's what they do. You know, but this just back to the music here. This was amazing. I love how different the second track was to the first one. Almost like much more, obviously, like a ballad, very heartfelt, but beautiful musicianship still, you know. They didn't leave that out just because it was a tune that wasn't just so funky and jazzy like the first one. The first one really seemed like something, you know, out of a jam band, you know, literally. And that's why I mentioned Snarky Puppy. This was like, I don't know what this was. It was just very, very good. You know, I'm very, very happy with this marathon. I hope it gets a lot of views because I want, you know, even SPACEHOG deserves a listen, man. Let's see. Let's just check out how many monthly listeners they have. Let's check it out. Okay, that's not too bad. That's almost 1 million. So SPACEHOG is, you know, is being listened to. And Goose. Let's see. You kind of have to press play. So 400,000. That could, you know, they obviously they're a newer band, but you know, if I type in any rando like reggaeton, it's gonna be like 14 billion listeners. Like, you know, 14 billion. It doesn't even, I guess we're not even enough humans on this planet, but it's literally like, you know, seriously, and it's literally music that it's insulting insultingly bad. No love towards music. It's all about, the lyrics are just disgusting. Offensive as hell. Like, there's no positive message in there. The music is literally not existent. It's just a stupid beat. It's just completely chaotic where the music market is, and it's like, oh, everybody loves this, make more. It's like, come on, like, record producers, really? It's literally just about the money now. Like, honestly, this is awesome. Thank you so much, Lee, for this awesome marathon. I really appreciate this, and I can't wait to see these bands. And I'm not even gonna like listen to more. I want to be surprised, what they play live, and then maybe I can, show some songs to Alexia and stuff like that. But I already sent her Thatch. I did that. I was like, you have to listen to this. I have like a little list. You guys know. Okay, well, again, Lee, thank you so much for this. Thanks everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let us know in the comment section down below. And yeah, let us know if you would go see them live, if you still go to concerts. Or do you live in a place where there's no concerts? All that's good stuff that you put in the comment section. Thank you again so much, Lee. Thanks everybody for watching. I'll see you all in the next one.